Humanity's return to the moon. In 2019, NASA has the Artemis program. Artemis, also known as Diana, is goddess of the moon. Her brother Apollo is the sun god. The craft Apollo landed on Diana, the moon. I never believed that America went to the moon. Apollo and Artemis logos look similar. Fragment of a stele with the symbol of the goddess Tanit. I noticed that the A and the R looked familiar. Aqua regia is a Latin word which means royal or king's water, so named by alchemists because it can dissolve noble metals like gold and platinum. Platinum alchemy symbol. The alchemy symbol for platinum combines the crescent symbol of the moon with the circular symbol of the sun. This is because alchemists thought platinum was an amalgam of silver, moon, and gold, sun. Inanna Ishtar is symbolized by the 8-pointed star. The colors red and blue were also used to symbolize the goddess, so the Artemis logo has the red and the blue. It's also the symbol for Tanit or Ishtar, a circle on top of a triangle. Stargate Command, circle on top of a triangle with the pentagram of Venus and wings because she's a sky goddess. Optician Awards logo is dodgy. There's strong evidence to suggest the Watchers and their offspring, the Nephilim, were indeed the shamanic elite that founded the early Neolithic cult centers of Upper Mesopotamia. They are repeatedly referred to in pseudepigraphical literature as bird men. A woman's head with a bird's body. Circle with a triangle. What does this icon have to do with glasses? Purple, cerulean blue, and magenta, colors linked to Ishtar, and you're holding that symbol. In the ancient Near East and Mediterranean world, the dove became an iconic symbol of the mother goddess. The Sumerian mother goddess Ishtar is often portrayed as holding a pigeon. The ancient Phoenicians associated Astarte, the goddess of love and fertility, with the dove. The Greek goddess Aphrodite and the Roman goddess Venus were both symbolically represented by doves. Bronze figures found in Van usually explained as Semiramis in the form of a dove. Tushpa is a Euratrian goddess from which the city of Tushpa derived its name. She may have been the wife of the solar god Shavini, as both are listed as third in the list of male and female deities on the Meridur inscription. It's hypothesized that the winged female figures on Euratrian ornaments and cauldrons depict this goddess. Tushpa is a woman with a bird body. Look at Optician's Award. Woman head, avian body. Optician inside of a hexagram. I know that bees make hexagonal-shaped wax cells. Melissa means bee in Greek, and to the ancients, a Melissa was a priestess of the goddess. Some were priestesses of Aphrodite, and there is a popular lore that holds that the bee itself is the embodiment of the soul of a priestess of the goddess of love. Ancient origins, DNA. Circle on top of a triangle with the 3 stars of Orion's belt. There's a cider company in the UK called Strongbow. The archer is found in many cultures. This is Ninurta, a Mesopotamian solar god. Ninurta is a god of war. He is often shown holding a bow and arrow and a sickle sword. Red cider with black thorns and fruit. The crossed thorns are like a snake. The red-robed serpent priestesses of Ishtar, also known as Artemis or Diana, who is an archer. Heka, Egyptian god of magic, with snakes crossed over his chest. Strongbow now has a purple goat mascot. It says, "Drink the goat." When Zeus was a baby, hidden on the island of Crete from his ravenous father Cronus, he is said to have subsisted on milk and honey. The milk was provided by the goat Amalthea, who was essentially Zeus's nurse. That's what it means, drink the goat, and purple is associated with Saturn. Amalthea was the she-goat nurse of the god Zeus, who nourished him with milk in a cave on Mount Dicte. There is a mountain behind the goat. When Zeus reached maturity, he created his thunder shield, the Aegis, from her hide, and the horn of plenty from her crown. The word Aegis means both stormy weather and goat skin in ancient Greece, and the sky does look stormy. Zeus is Jupiter, and the goat has one leg on the cider. Look closely at the bottom. The can has a purple sphere with gold rings. They are alluding to Saturn. What's the music in the Strongbow Ultra advert? The music in this Goat Strongbow Ultra advert is a song called Daga Da. The dog Da is an important god in Irish mythology. He is associated with fertility, agriculture, manliness and strength, as well as magic, druidry and wisdom. He can control life and death, the weather and crops, as well as time and the seasons. The next symbol is a serpent coiled round a goblet. Number 10, Hygeia, a serpent with a star, or a rod of Asclepius. That symbol is on most ambulance vehicles. Hygeia, Greek myth, the goddess of health. Hygeia was typically depicted as a beautiful young woman with a large snake wrapped around her body, which she fed from a saucer or a drinking jar. All of Europe uses that symbol to mean health. We have a dual-colored tablet with a star. The dark blue and light blue connect to the girl on the Denver airport mural. She's holding the celestial star map, and there's a star near the tablet. Great Lakes Pharmaceutical Consultants, the pestle and mortar is made like a boat. The red mast tells you this is the tribe of Dan. The Danans were the only tribe of Israel who were known as sailors and a seafaring race, which was unusual for the Israelite tribes. This is key in understanding how they not only ended up in Ireland under the name of the Tuatha De Danann, but also in many other countries such as Denmark, where they brought the ways of the serpent waymark to these lands. The tribe of Dan's symbol is a serpent. Columbidae is a bird family consisting of pigeons and doves. Therefore, the goddess Columbia and her many incarnations. My friend asked me to interpret the Rolls-Royce icon. Sculptor Pompeo Capini with Columbia, the goddess of liberty, and focal point of the Littlefield Fountain. Rolls-Royce's icon is Columbia the goddess. They both have a torch with arms raised in the air. Lady Liberty, Columbia, Semiramis, Tushpa, the winged woman. Rolls-Royce updated the icon, but it still looks like a woman with a bird body. And they came to Jerusalem, and Jesus went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves. Doves were also prominent animal symbols associated with Inanna Ishtar. Doves are shown on cultic objects associated with Inanna as early as the beginning of the 3rd millennium BC. Lead dove figurines were discovered in the temple of Ishtar at Ashur, dating to the 13th century BC. And a painted fresco from Syria shows a giant dove emerging from a palm tree in the temple of Ishtar, indicating that the goddess herself was sometimes believed to take the form of a dove. Connecting to Lady Gaga, people said this referenced the Hunger Games, but the pin is a dove and not a mockingjay. Irene, Greek myth, the goddess of peace, daughter of Zeus and Themis, identified with the Roman goddess Pax. The first stage is a death nigredo, where the soul bird, dove, is seen perched upon a skull. Thus a death nigredo stands at the beginning of the work, and a separation occurs between the soul and the body in the process. The dove is going into the black substance. Stephanie is wearing black. The white hair, red lipstick, black top are alchemy colors. I can't believe Alfa Romero have gotten away with this. The serpent eating a man is Quetzalcoatl. This bloodthirsty Aztec serpent god was given human sacrifices. Children in the 80s watched a program called Rainbow Bright. In ancient Greece, Iris was the goddess of the rainbow. And now they've updated it, and they're telling you it's Iris. The symbol for Iris is a star under a rainbow. She's making a rainbow with her hands, and her belt has a star. That's not what the original looked like. They also added a subliminal in the newer version. Gender non-binary, a person who does not identify as exclusively male or female. The rainbow is missing colors. It's yellow, orange, magenta, and dark blue, identical to the flag. They confirm this in her dress. It's light blue, the belt is orange, magenta, dark blue, and yellow. Ariel has red hair, and their tails create the rainbow. The rainbow was associated with the cosmic serpent in African, Indian, Asian, and Australian traditions. The snake itself is a major symbol of axial and essential powers. It appears nearly everywhere as a magico-religious link between the underworld and earth, and in imagery is sometimes given celestial symbolism by the addition of wings or feathers. The most notable example of this is the Aztec god Quetzalcoatl, a plumed serpent. The serpent and the rainbow with the mark of Dan on his forehead. There's a Pixar film called Luca. The two lads are aquatic reptilians, I can see the lizard legs, and they are with a red-haired child. For her birthday, Ariel was meant to be in the shell, but she was away with the fairies. Botticelli's Birth of Venus, standing in a shell. Ariel is sitting in a shell. They both have red hair. So Ariel is Venus, or Yamaya, La Sirène, Mami Water, and the Syrians called her Atargatis, the mermaid goddess. Doves and fish are sacred to her. Doves as an emblem of the love goddess, and fish as a symbol of fertility. Bounty's old logo was the cornucopia. The cornucopia belongs to Demeter, the goddess of harvest. Cornucopia is called the horn of plenty. Bountiful means plenty. MTV2 had this two-headed dog logo. Orthos was a two-headed, serpent-tailed dog which guarded the fabulous red cattle of Geryon on the island of Erythea. Orthros was one of a large brood of monsters spawned by the she-dragon Echidna. His siblings included the hound Cerberus and the three-headed lion Chimera. When I saw this symbol for Under Armour, I recognized where it's from. It's an alchemical symbol. The symbol for tin began as the symbol to invoke the god Jupiter. Under Armour with the frequency, Under Armour on Freemason bricks, Under Armour with the rainbow and frequency, electromagnetic radiation spectrum. Under Armour L-ite with orange. In Voodoo religion, each deity has a sigil called Veve. This Veve belongs to La Sirène. Metis was one of the elder Oceanids and the Titan goddess of good counsel, planning, cunning, and wisdom. She was a counselor of Zeus during the Titan War and hatched the plan through which Kronos was forced to regurgitate his devoured children. In an odd reversal of fortune, Zeus swallowed Metis whole when a prophecy was revealed that she was destined to bear a son greater than his father. The asteroid symbol for Metis is an eye with a star above it. La Sirène's Veve is an eye with a star on top. This is Damballa Wado's Veve. Number 10 Hygeia, a serpent with a star. Damballa, voodoo snake god. On the left is the symbol for Hygeia. On the right is the symbol for Damballa Wado, stars with snakes. Do these people know what they're doing? Or maybe they don't care. World Star Hip Hop with the alchemy colors. I think it's supposed to be WS for World Star, but I see a serpent wearing a crown. Azuli's Veve is a heart with stars above it, and it matches the asteroid symbol of Eunomia. Parthenope, Greek myth, the siren who threw herself into the sea after her songs failed to lure Ulysses into a shipwreck. The asteroid symbol for Parthenope looks like a frog head and a fish body, and that reminded me of the Nomos. The Dogon tribe believes they came from the stars. The sirens were three monstrous sea nymphs who lured sailors to their death with a bewitching song. They were formerly handmaidens of the goddess Persephone, and when she was secretly abducted by Hades, Demeter gave them the bodies of birds to assist in the search. Ulysses later sailed by, bound tightly to the mast while his men blocked their ears with wax. The sirens were so distressed to see a man hear their song and still escape that they threw themselves into the sea and drowned. The sirens were depicted as birds with either the heads or entire upper bodies of women. Parthenope Nightingale was Florence Nightingale's older sister. Florence Nightingale with her tame owl Athena, drawn by her sister Parthenope. They're having a laugh. The owl is the symbol of the Greek goddess Athena. Were these real people? I found an alternate symbol. Parthenope, astronomical symbol, fish and star. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's the same icon. Does the doctor give you a pink ribbon when you're having chemo? You do know that ribbon fish exist, don't you? The veve for Agwe is a boat. Agwe, king of the sea, commands a beautiful ship named Imamu and is married to the alluring mermaid La Sirène. Agwe is a military spirit, a stickler for protocol and procedure. Lord Agwe serves as a psychopomp leading dead souls to Ganin, the voodoo realm of the dead, which is beneath the sea. Agwe, in Haitian voodoo, sea god married to Urzuli, who as his wife is called La Sirène, is portrayed as a mermaid. Agwe's veve or symbol is a large sailboat, and his sacred colors are blue and white. With the blending of voodoo and Christian mythologies in Haiti, Agwe is often identified with Saint Ulrich, a 10th century bishop whose symbol is a fish. There's Saint Ulrich who looks suspiciously like the Pope. You remember Skeet Ulrich? His alleged surname is Trout, which is a fish. If you remove K-E-E, then you have S-T, Saint Ulrich. The demon Vepar is the water master. His sigil is a boat with an anchor, but Agwe's symbol is a boat with an anchor. As I said, maybe they're aware of this and they just don't care. Here's the poster for American Horror Story Freak Show. We know this now. It's the three-legged Trinacria symbol. October is the 8th month, and it's on the 8th day, which is 88, the number of Venus, because she's technically inside a portal. Another poster they've got of bees under this grid. That grid is called graphene. Hive mind cult wearing the mime makeup. Extinction Rebellion uses the bee in their posters. According to Greek mythology, Melissa was a nymph who discovered and taught the use of honey and from whom bees were believed to have received their name. She was one of the nymphic nurses of Zeus, sister to Almathea, but rather than feeding the baby milk, Melissa fed him honey. Melissa Bee was the title given to Aphrodite's high priestesses at the honeycomb shrine of Mount Eryx, where the goddess fetish was a golden honeycomb. Pythagoreans perceived the hexagon as an expression of the spirit of Aphrodite, whose sacred number was 6. She worshipped bees as her sacred creatures because they understood how to create perfect hexagons in the honeycomb. This is the veve of Maman Brigitte, and she looks like an alien. The small upturned eyes, the head antenna going all the way up looks like his. It looks like she's got her arms out with 3 fingers, and he's got 3 fingers. And then there's stars around her to tell you where they're from. This is Grand Bois. He looks like an alien as well, or a yeti with a fur coat. Somebody told me I should look at Lucius Trust and their logo. Sacred Magic of the Abermelin, the mage S.L. McGregor Mathers, who was a Freemason. Lucifer, from Latin lux, light, and ferro, to bear, a light bearer. There is a name Lucifuge, also employed occasionally from lux, light, and fugio, to fly from. He who shuns the light. Lucifer was one of the seraphim who rebelled against God and was cast out of heaven. The name Lucifer means light bearer and is not used in the New Testament, where the bearer of light is Christ. On the left is the seal of Lilith, and this is Lucius Trust. They both have a fork with 2 lines crossed. There's a triangle under the star, and Lucius Trust is inside a triangle. Compared to another Lucius Trust symbol, there's a triangle behind the star, and on her seal, there's a triangle under the star. There's an Ugaritic poem about 2 divine children, Shachar, dawn, and Shalim, dusk, who were born as the result of intercourse of the god El with a mortal woman. That would make El, Elian, and Shahar members of the Canaanite pantheon, and the Mount of Meeting is the abode of the gods, which corresponds to Mount Olympus in Greek mythology. Many apocalyptic writers interpreted this passage as referring to Lucifer and wrote about the fall of the angels. One Enoch refers to the falling angels as stars, see watchers, and may be the beginning of the overlap between the story of the watchers and Isaiah. Of Venus, her general and particular significations. After the sun succeedeth Venus, who is sometimes called Cytherea, Aphrodite, Phosphorus, Vespugio, Erisina. She is a bright shining colour and is well known amongst the vulgar by the name of the evening star, or Hesperus, and that's when she appears after the sun is set. Common people call her the morning star, and the learned Lucifer. Wilson cloud, imagined as a house that rose up from beneath the ocean. The symbol for Lucius Trust looks like a Wilson cloud. We are told in myth that Anki lived in the house of the subterranean cosmic waters known as the Abzu. At this point, let us picture in our minds the asteroid impact event. The asteroid impacts into the ocean, causing a huge uplift of water into the air. At the same moment, a huge dome-like Wilson cloud appears, formed by the terrific explosion detonation. The fireball then rises up into the air with its mushroom cloud. A mushroom cloud, as explained, when schematized to its barest elements, looked like a deity with upraised arms. The notion then formed in his mind that the dome-like structure he cited, the Wilson cloud form, was a type of watery house that had seemingly risen up from below the ocean, and from the watery house, a godlike figure form had then emerged. As I stated, I believe that near-past asteroid fall had impacted into the ocean, and I believe likely candidate for the impact site was the Indian Ocean. As is well known, we have various legends of a great flood having taken place in the past, especially in Mesopotamia. A large asteroid impact into an ocean would create an immense uplift of water into the atmosphere, which would fall like an overwhelming torrent, flood of water from the sky onto surrounding human cultures. And what I said before, these gods are linked to radiation and atomic or nuclear events. That's why Ishtar is the goddess of war. That can be physical war, spiritual war, or psychological war.